This is Seasons of Discontent with your hosts Rick Snyder and Matt Combs on the Hogstein Network.
Welcome to Seasons of Discontent, Season 4, Episode 13, brought to you by Rick Snyder's Pizza and Pigskin Tours. Yes, we can go eat some pizza. Just go to monumentalthoughts.com to sign up. And I'm Rick Snyder.
And I'm Matt.
And we're back discussing all things Washington sports and life as part of the mighty Hogstein Network on audio and YouTube channel of mine, Rick Snyder's Washington, on video. All right, Matt. A lot of talk about the stadium again. I mean, where else would I be? I've talked about stadiums for 25 years, I guess.
Yeah.
That's when we're on to the new one. And this week, the D.C. government, which controls land next to the RFK site, has had public meetings, and now they're down to the last couple bidders to develop what they call Reservation 13. Which is what a crazy name. And imagine if the Redskins came back to Reservation 13. Good Lord, would there be some yelling about that? I don't know what to call it that. Anyway, Reservation 13, for those of you who know RFK, parking lot 8, which is to the right down by the river. All right, so that land goes from the parking lot, just below the parking lot, down a ways along the river, down to the Congressional Cemetery and where the old hospital was at one time. And so it's a big parcel. I think it's 67 acres. All right, they've decided they want to put housing, mostly low-income housing, and some commercial. Home Depot's made a commitment to come, things like that. They want to turn it into neighborhoods. This has been a long-standing conversation, but now they're finally moving toward it.
Yeah.
They turn it into a mini Navy Yard kind of thing. And then they'd like, the future conversations they're saying is after we finish this, we want to grab the RFK site and do more residential and buildings and all that. So they're coming. So the bottom line is you take away everything to the right of RFK. If you thought that the team was going back there, well, Dan Snyder wants, Adventure World around them or whatever. You just took away half the land over there.
Yeah, because ideally when you built the new stadium, you would build on that 67 acres, tear down RFK, and then that would be your parking lot and stuff like that, as we've seen in other cities that have done that, where they build a stadium right next door. Yeah, well, I mean, it was a big controversy with DC because they didn't want the Redskins. They wanted the name to be changed and stuff like that. So now the name has been changed, and it seems DC is going back on their word again. But then again, I don't know if the stadium was ever set to go to DC. That may have just been talk, and maybe that was a lot of wishful thinking from fans because of all the glory days we had in DC. I still think this thing ends up somewhere in Virginia. There's still a lot of farms and pastures and stuff like that out in Loudoun County, that this thing's going to end up out in Loudoun County. It's definitely not going to go in Maryland. There's really nowhere except for, maybe down here where we live, but our roadways, our infrastructure can't handle a stadium like that. So it's going to have to go somewhere out there in Loudoun County.
Well, they're bringing the train now to Waldorf. It's going to be here in a few years.
Yeah.
So I got a state forest next to me. We can knock it down, build it there. That'd be awesome. But
that Route 5 corridor where you live, that traffic is already a beast. No, thank you.
Well, with the train coming, take traffic off of that.
Oh, I see.
You remember Sundays. No, Maryland still has a bid. I think DC has never really been a player.
No.
Maybe done it. They would have built where RFK is now. That's going to be demolished sometime the end of this year, early next year. They're actually starting to do some work on that. But maybe they could have put it there. If you could have put it on Reservation 13, the metro is close enough. You could have made that work. But the citizens just didn't want it. And, they got to put some money up. Dan Snyder's going to want some money. I, as a Maryland taxpayer, am rooting for Virginia.
Yeah.
Why, we're going to put $1 billion into something that you and I can't afford tickets, because people are going to miss FedEx prices. I hate to tell them this. Those tickets are going to be twice as much in the coming years. When they built it, you build a $2 billion place, you got to pay for it.
Well, not only that, but I don't think I'll be getting out that far. That's a long ride, man. That's gonna be if it goes out in Loudoun County, that's gonna be a long ride.
Yeah, I mean they blew the Loudoun County site a few years ago. In my opinion, their best chance for it. There was a huge tract of land near the airport where they're building the metro,
right.
And it's taking forever to get out there. But it's supposed to be ready, I think, next year.
Well, not only that, but that they've got that area is like one Loudon. That's where they're building all the restaurants and bars, and the Redskins themed bar was out there. So they got like a Top Golf out there now. So that piece of, I know what piece of property you're talking about.
Yeah, well, that property too has been acquired by the storage companies. If you go out by Ashburn, there's one big monolith after another with the internet servers in it.
Yep.
Yeah, humongous building. There's one right across from Redskin Park. We see like 4 cars out front. It's like, it's the guards and a couple of service repair guys. But I think they said something like 70% of the world's internet traffic now goes through Ashburn.
Yep.
And building these places one after another. They're building another one on a different side of the park.
Well, that was a big reason that Amazon's coming to Crystal City, because of all the servers and the technology that's out in Ashburn. Amazon has their AWS web service. I'm sure they're going to stake their claim out in Loudoun County as much as they already have.
Yeah, the problem is the metro station was on that spot that could have been taken, and you would have walked less than a mile to the stadium, sort of like what it is now. It's about 1 mile, and FedEx to the FedEx door is about a mile. So they kind of missed that. I don't know where else they're going there. I still think Maryland with Oxon Cove, which is down by the Wilson Bridge, across the highway from the MGM. I didn't know this for a long time. It's federal land. It's not state land. And Maryland has offered to swap some forest out in Western Maryland for that land. And Trump hated the Maryland's governor, Hogan, so he wouldn't do it. But now we got a different president in. Maybe he's willing to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I think they'd have environmental problems there because it's near the river, and those environmentalists are tough on that stuff. So, but, you can work it out. But, we look at it and go, okay, 2027, 6 years away. You got to make a decision in a year, and then you got a year of permits, so now you're down to 5. It's going to take you at least 2, 3 to build. So you got a little time, but you got to start getting serious. And I know I saw the TMZ interview with Dan Snyder out in LA going, we're looking at stadiums here and in Europe. So, we'll see what they have. I've heard the moat is no longer in play.
Oh,
I'm looking forward to the moat. Cowboy days, watching people get thrown in. That would have been interesting.
Hey, maybe they can purchase Six Flags, because hold on, Dan already owns part of Six Flags. Maybe they can demolish Six Flags over there off Central Avenue, build the stadium there, and they'll just keep the wave pool.
Well, it's always been a roller coaster of an operation. So
exactly.
Plunged to your death, and they already overcharged for parking and all that kind of craziness.
Can you believe that in 2020, or what are we in 2021, there's still stadiums out there where it's free to park?
I didn't know that. Who?
Oh yeah, I think it's still free to park in Arizona.
Wow, I didn't know that. Well, I haven't been to the new one. I can tell you Seattle, man, they jacked up parking big time, and I haven't been there in years. And it was like $100, and this was years ago.
Yeah.
A friend of mine just got back from Disney, said it cost $60 a day to park at Disney World.
Oh.
I was like, man, that's a show. So you can imagine what it's all going to cost in the new one. I'll have to get parking by then. I'll be old and decrepit. But it'll be interesting. That's why they're in Richmond. We kind of talked about it briefly the other day. Richmond, if they really want to play nice with Virginia lawmakers who are feeling a little singed by this training camp deal, he said, well, all right, we'll come back. We'll do a few days there, and then we'll come back to the park. It's just a show to try and wave toward the Virginia lawmakers of, hey, we may need your help with some money on all this. If you pull off the deal, and the next governor, I assume, is Terry McAuliffe. That's what they say. I don't live in Virginia, but he's friendly toward this. And at least Dan Snyder needs 2 bidders to try and get his best deal. So.
And I'm gonna put it out there now. When that stadium is built, I'm gonna give it a 65% chance that stadium is named Amazon Field or something like that.
I'd be all right.
I still think Bezos is gonna find his way into ownership, a partial ownership of the team.
Oh,
because we know right now Dan has 100%. Well, Dan, and then like his mom, and it's all broken up between the family. But there's going to be something that happens where Dan is going to have to be forced to sell part of the team. And I guarantee you Bezos is going to find his way into the the Washington football team.
Well, if they need a new song because they can't play Hail the Redskins anymore. So you could have Welcome to the Jungle,
There you go.
That'd be kind of cool.
There you go.
I like that one.
There you go.
Get the wolves screaming,
Yeah, we're the Red Wolves, and we play in the jungle, the Amazon field.
Yeah.
See, look, hey, Jason Wright needs to hire us. We're marketing geniuses.
I gotta write this down. I gotta copyright this for the show. I kind of like that. Damn, I'm not even drinking yet. We got something. All right. Well, all right. So it's actually talking about something else for once. It stinks. The Nationals. My God, what are you guys doing? You finally get some pitching and you can't hit. You hit the ball, you can't get any pitching. Scherzer problem. Now Scherzer's out for groin, which it's hard to tell how long it is. Strasburg has won one game since signing that $170 million deal.
Yeah.
I mean, every time he touches a body part, you're like, oh crap, there's the injured list.
Yep.
I mean, 4 body parts from Strasburg.
If you look at the 3 heroes from our World Series run, well, aside from Howie Kendrick, who retired, but look at your Strasburgs, your Corbins, your Scherzers. Corbin stinks. Corbin can't throw a freaking strike to save his life. Scherzer, unfortunately, they're calling it a groin inflammation. So hopefully he's not even landed on IL yet. He's just not going to be in the rotation for his next start. And then you got Strasburg, like you said, every time he touches a body part, he's going to be out for 3 months. Now, let me ask you this. Looking back now, would you rather have Rendon over Strasburg? I mean, look, I know at the time, Strasburg was World Series MVP. He basically was the #1 pitcher all throughout the playoffs, but would you have kept Rendon over Strasburg at this point?
I'd always keep an everyday player over a pitcher.
I agree with you. And I said that then.
Just the number of games alone. And I know Rendon hadn't had the best of times out in California. I have a feeling he just wanted to leave, though.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, he got a great offer, but I had a feeling he was, in his mind, he was leaving. I don't know what that was about, but, you miss it. It's amazing how much this team has changed, in the 18 months since World Series.
Yeah.
So many players are gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the one interesting one is Ryan Zimmerman is having a really good year. I think he's batting like 290 and as a part-time player.
Yeah.
But I think I almost want to let him play full-time.
Well, and it's honestly, that's why one of the reasons that I wanted the NL to adapt, the DH again this year. Last year, Ryan was basically Ryan didn't play last year, but Ryan was slated to be your DH last year before he opted out. Ryan being a DH this year, we could actually have some offense. But I tell you, Rick, one of the bigger issues is you bring in a Schwarber and you bring in a Bell as to be your power guys, and you've got them in your, around Soto and Turner and guys like that. They're not hitting. Josh Bell is not producing. He'll get hot for maybe a game or two, and then he just goes ice cold again. I believe he's batting under 300. He's got a couple home runs. Schwarber's a little different. He's kind of rides the wave of striking out, and then he'll jack a 450 home run. But, the pieces that you've brought in, they just have not come together like this World Series team when you had a Kendrick and Eaton and guys like that had camaraderie and were hitting.
Yeah, Bell didn't have the greatest of years last year in that mini season.
Yeah.
And maybe that was a warning sign that they chose to ignore. And I threw last year out. I didn't take anything.
But I'll be honest with you, anybody that plays for the Pirates, you kind of have to blame it on the organization and kind of hope that a change of scenery will do him well.
Yeah, I know that they now can have full houses, and so far it's been like a half filled house. But people don't necessarily want to run to things. I'm still a little, uncertain about being in mass things like that. Even though I'm not wearing a mask anymore, thank God.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much done with that, except when I'm in a grocery store or something.
All right, Rick doesn't have his bell, so I'm going to hit it. Ding.
Oh, we're already at. Yeah, I ate crabs this week. They were great on that. Finally crabs.
Yeah, crab season, baby.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess we got to get out of here. If you want to eat pizza, come with me on the tours. We're already there, mightymentalthoughts.com. I'm Rick Snyder.
And I'm Matt.
See you soon.
Bye.